8 years, maybe even 25 years before the Revolutionary War. Built circa 1750, the mill was essential to the economy and the development of German Valley. Welcome to the Obadiah LaTourette Grist and Sawmill, listed on the state and national registers of historic places as a contributing property in the German Valley Historic District. When you were coming from Chester into German Valley, it was one of the first buildings that you saw. For much of its history, it was one of the most successful businesses in the village, grinding grain and producing flour and animal feed. Originally powered by two internal water wheels, the mill was converted to turbine power in the 1870s. The milling operation continued until the 1940s. From the 1940s to the late 60s, Dr. Eugene Blass lived in the building, but that is a story for another time. Thank you for being here. I am Jim Fitterer, President of the Washington Township Land Trust. We organized in 1990, incorporated in 91 as a 501c3 nonprofit. We are an all-volunteer organization. If you'd like to know more about us and what we do, please visit our website at wtlt.org. We are submitting two grant applications, one for construction documents for Phase 1 design, concentrating on the foundation, the second for construction, to take preventative measures and reducing the opportunity for more damage to occur due to moisture. Under the Secretary of Interior guidelines, the period of significance is 1750 to 1940, from when it was built until it ceased operation as a mill. Under Criterion A, the mill tells the story of grain and flour milling over nearly 200 years. Significant is that much of the equipment and machinery are still in the mill. Under Criterion C, reflects vernacular architecture of the 18th century evolving to ones influenced by the detailing found in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. You're here to see the mill, so grab a beverage and let's take a tour. Purchased in 1991 by the Land Trust, the building was condemned. You'll see why in a second. The east wall, the northeast corner and intake arch, the east wall above the intake arch, the north wall or the riverside. And here we are today, the south facade. The portion to the right is the original mill. The west wing was added in the 1850s. The granary, often mistaken for a garage. The east wall. The intake arch at northeast corner as it is today. This is a good place to stop for a moment and speak to the biggest challenge facing us in restoring the mill. River churning. It has eroded the mortar and weakened and undermined the foundation. This effect appears to be pulling the mill building in a northerly direction. In addition, the intake arch also lacks lateral thrust, causing the arch to separate, thereby contributing to that pull. Many of the mortise and tenon joinery is pulling out because of this movement. Emergency stabilization to the foundation was done in 2018, as well as the arch. This appears to have temporarily stopped or slowed the movement. There's more information on this action on our website. Standing inside at the northeast corner, remnants of the original dam and one of two breaches caused by a storm in 1939. The north wall, or the riverside. The west wing addition. The west wall of the original mill section. The trees are scheduled to be removed in mid-April. I'm anxious to take you inside. The building is deceiving from the street. It's over 10,000 square feet spread out over 4 floors. The sun reflects the open Dutch door that we just came in. We are facing west. Through that open door is a vestibule. Off the vestibule to the right is the original mill office. Straight through takes you into a one-bedroom apartment. The apartment was created in the 1940s. It was renovated in 2011. The original walls and flooring from the mill are still intact, right down to the graffiti left by the mill workers. Facing north, looking over the turbine bay, directly in front of us is a roller mill, which replaced the use of millstones, or runs as they are called. The turbine bay with the Hearst frame. The run sat on top of it. The intake arch in the turbine bay. Let's head down into the turbine bay. The Hearst frame with two original turbines. The drive shafts extend up to the third floor. A clearer view of the two drive shafts. On top of the Hearst frame, looking up, you can see where the belts attached that powered the machinery. Let's head up to the second floor. Facing the south wall, east walls to the left, sistering of members, keeping as much of the original as possible. Now facing north on the second floor, looking at the northwest corner, or the downstream side of the building. Facing northeast, you get a good look at the drive shafts. With the building open to the elements, we have snow at our feet. Second floor, western wing, facing the west wall. Underneath this floor is the vestibule and apartment. Let's move forward and take a look at what's up against the wall. Original parts, including belts that were used to operate the machinery. Interesting to have a metal canister among those parts. Wonder what it is. Let's quickly head up to the third floor. The third floor in the west wing is similar to the second. We have cataloged parts and equipment stored here. Note the bagging frame to the left. Rare to have one, but we're lucky we do. Our last stop is the north wall of the original structure on the third floor, the termination point of the drive shafts, open to the elements. Leaving off seeing the original structure is open to the elements in parts brings us to summarize the key condition issues. The first three speak to the foundations of the original structure. The last two, the cause of damaging moisture conditions. The first grant would allow us to install gutters and enclose the open areas with a temporary canvas covering. The second grant would allow us to conduct soil borings to determine design load for the foundation in the river, establish environmental design requirements, start the Phase 1 design, which is focused on the foundation. The Phase 2, not included in this grant cycle, will focus on the frame of the building. We are pleased to say Connolly and Hickey will be leading both of these grants. So in summary, the mill and the river have lived together for 250 years. Using a sound approach with professional expertise, we would like to make that relationship last for several more generations. In the short term, to prevent further damage, install gutters and canvas covering. In the long term, initiate Phase 1 of the design plan to begin making that relationship last. Thank you for your time and for your attention. It's truly appreciated. There is more information on our website. If you think that you would benefit from an actual site visit, Connolly and Hickey and I would be glad to make that happen. The mill environment is conducive to providing a safe and comfortable experience in small numbers.